Hey, music listeners, welcome back to talking, or at least looking at me. So sorry. Yeah, I need a makeup person, powder, please, the glow. Anyway, we're here at the 15th annual Dewey Beach Music Fest, and with me right now is Kevin McCove. Jesus, my mother wants her money back from that education. Anyway, Kevin, how you doing, man?
Pretty good. Pretty good.
Cool. How you digging being down here? How's it been going for you so far? Did you just get here? What's going on?
I got here last night. I got to check out a couple of artists over at Jimmy's. So it was really good. I'm kind of from the area, so
all right.
So it's not like a crazy drive for me to get here.
Oh, that's good. We got some people from the UK here, so
yeah. So a little.
They keep driving on the wrong side of the road. It's so funny, you know. Well, cool. I'm glad you had a good time checking that out. But let me shift everything back onto you. What's going on? You got anything going on?
Yeah, I have some new music coming out. I've been doing a lot more stuff with like my band. Before I was just kind of doing a lot of solo stuff. Mm-hmm. Now I'm starting to bring in the band for a lot more stuff. So.
Okay, so playing out live with the full band and everything else like that. How does that differ for you as from doing your stuff solo?
It's different in the fact that the music is allowed to be presented in a different way. The recordings can tend to be a lot different than the live performance when you're just playing solo.
Yeah.
So it's more like a stripped version, but now I'm able to do the music in a sense that's like, oh, this is a lot closer to what I want to hear on the record. And it helps also just booking performances. Just because you can book different types of performances when you have a band, when you have a backing band. So
tell me a little bit more about the new music. When is it out? When is it going to be out?
What's it all about? Out in about 2 months. We'll be doing an EP, like a small EP, probably in November. It'll launch right before one of the concerts that we're going to do at a school. So I do like school presentation, school tours, and we give concerts for those schools.
Yeah,
so.
how is that going with the work you do with the schools? Tell people out there and possibly anybody, you artists out there get inspired.
Yeah. So what I do is I tour schools around the state of Delaware, some in Maryland and PA as well. But I give a presentation on like entrepreneurship, more specifically in the music industry, and how to effectively pursue your dreams and your passions. And then I follow up going to that school with a concert. I do a concert where I do a 60-40 split with the school. That 60% of the funds that were raised go back to the school. And 40% just covers like all of the expenses of putting on a concert, giving the presentation, travel, etc. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the target goal for the 2017 year is to give $20,000 back to the Delaware public school systems. So yeah, it's a really cool thing. No. Wow. Yeah, thanks.
Cool. I like that because so many people talk about music and education, and as it is with so many schools across this country where music programs are constantly cut and constantly underfunded or just completely gone. And I think there's always a backlash when it comes to business, and schools are business, let's be honest. They've got to make money, they've got to produce as well, okay? That music and the arts constantly suffer. Okay, and it's wonderful. There are a lot of different programs out there to give instruments and stuff like that. But to be able to be an artist who goes in, gives them a concert, talks to the students, and to help them, inspire them to pursue their dreams. Because I think that's more. You hand an instrument to someone and they're like, cool. I think some kids, I know growing up, my school was kind of like, it was like a punishment being assigned an instrument, because you're like, oh, you get clarinet, you get this, right? Yeah, it's work, and there's not enough emphasis on what's going to happen once you're done with it. And so I think that's cool. You go in and talk to people and talk to the kids, and you show them the other side of that, as well as
the educational process for how we educate our youth to be musicians varies so much from the rest of the educational process. Some kids have music maybe once a week, and that's not enough, because you go to math class like every single day, and it's still, and the way that music is kind of taught in schools, a lot of times, like, hey, you go to choir and you're learning music that is from a period that might be 100, 200, 300 years ago, which doesn't really have any cultural, social, or practical relevance in terms of making money. Yep. Which is why a lot of parents or people that fund like your boards of education may not necessarily be gung-ho about music programs in schools is because they don't see it as a practical way to make a living, but you're also not providing a practical education to provide someone with a practical way to make a living.
Exactly.
You know, so I'm just really trying to get out and show students, kids, and parents and faculty also just how many different ways there are, because a lot of time I think it's either you're a starving musician, you're a starving artist, you're a teacher, or you're like, you know, world famous.
Yeah.
And there's so much space in between that people don't think about. You know, like if you wanted to be an accountant and you were going to make $70,000 a year, well, then if you want to be a musician, perhaps your goal should be $70,000 a year, not $7 million. And it's way more practical to figure out a way as a musician to make 70 grand, which is still the same exact thing that you would have made had you have done some other profession. You know, so I think it's just a reappropriation of how you get people to think about what they're capable of doing in a particular art field. It doesn't have to be music, it could be literature or painting or, you know, whatever it is. But there's so many, the internet has done so much for creating different avenues for revenue streams. There's just so much. And our current educational structure only focuses on a very, very small part of that. And so it's great. Like, I'm very appreciative that the school systems, and especially in Delaware, have been gracious enough to allow me to come in and share my knowledge with the students, and that it's been received fairly well thus far. And you know, so hopefully there'll be a generation of kids who are able to pioneer music and really provide a sense of security for the entire music culture that is here.
So Kevin, what's the best place for people to get in touch with you, find out what you're doing, and keep going on with it?
So every social media is at Kevin McCove or at Kevin McCove Band. So Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's all Kevin McCove.
Now, if people want to help and get involved in any sort of way with what you're doing with the schools, can they do that, or can they find more information on the site?
They'll definitely be able to find more information. If Facebook is probably the best way to stay updated and to contact me as well. You can send me a personal message if you'd like to get involved, or we have plenty of sponsors, and you know, there's always ways to get involved, to give back to the community. And after all, like, these are our kids and our communities, so every hand helps.
Give the kid an instrument, he ain't going to pick up a gun, trust me.
Right.
Kevin, thank you very much.
Thanks, Sean.
I appreciate everything you're doing, as well as just as an artist, as your music as well, okay? And I wish you the best with it, and keep going, man, seriously, because that's what they need. Until next time, everybody. Oh, by the way, you're already on the computer. Go over, open up another tab, don't be lazy. Go check out Kevin's stuff, and if you can help, if you can contribute to it, or maybe if you want to start something like this in your own community, okay? Talk to Kevin. He's got the blueprint for it, and he's working it right. All right? Until next time, everybody. See you.